Why, hello there, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. My name is Mr. Dogboat333, and welcome back to Hearts of Iron 4 Kaiserreich as the Qing government. Now, last video, well, these guys broke free from these guys. That's gonna make things a little awkward. So yeah, here we go. I mean, these guys are led by the Chang guy. These guys are led by Mr. Soon. Oh. Well, cool. The position of Shandong, Governor Zhang Zhongqiang, has always been tenuous at best. An erratic, violent man, Zhang previously held close ties to Zhang Zhuling of the Fengtian government, though he had been loyal to the Beijing through bribery and lavish commissions. It appears he has used the chaos enveloping the South to cast us aside. This morning, a number of our tax collectors were halted at the provincial border, and spies within the province report that he carried out mass purges of Qing loyalists. Even worse, they report him making contacts with Zhang Zhuling and the Japanese. Damn you, dog meat general. Those motherfuckers. What the shit? To the eminent President Cao Kun and Imperial Minister Wu Paifu, I, Governor Chiang Tiaoying, humbly ask for funding my troops. As outlined in the Constitution of our great nation, it is the responsibility of the national government to provide funds to provincial governors to suppress the unrest. While the situation of League Marshal Sun and Nanjing unclear, I've taken the responsibility of protecting the province of HoI against bandits and leftist agitators. The telegrams were delivered to Wu Paifu this morning from the Anhui Governor Chiang Tiaoying of the Zhili Clique. The tone of the letter was very bold. It appears Cheng has restored order to his province. Wu is faced with a choice. Chen would be a powerful ally, but he has a firm anti-concession stance. Supporting him in the long term would alienate Germany, whose support will be essential in the inevitable war against Japan. At the same time, taking a stance against Germany will undoubtedly endear Wu with the population. Refuse. No funds for rebels. With widespread unrest sweeping the Ligue provinces, Governor Jin Yunyi of Henan and Zhao Yaonan of Hubei reported increasing numbers of refugees flooding into their provinces. Although it started as a trickle, over the course of the past few days, the flow dramatically increased, with whole families fleeing, an explosion of violence and banditry. The governors have sent warning telegrams after some of their men interviewed some of the refugees, indicating central authority within the League has collapsed far more than previously thought. Furthermore, they have requested additional food and supplies to deal with refugees. Send the supplies. Oh. Earlier this morning, Wang Qiangbin, a senior member of the Zhili Clique and major ally of Cao Kun, passed away due to old age. While his death in and itself is a blow to our command structure, it reveals a worrying trend. Many senior Zhili military officers are of old age, poor health, or both. The corruption endemic in our military prevents younger officers from advancing through the ranks. Unless a serious effort is made, our high command will soon consist solely of doddering, senile old men, terrified of adapting new technologies and doctrines. What happened to age bringing wisdom? Jeez. Oh god, that was our general. Shit. God. Let's go with this guy. He's only like, what, 60? 65? That's not god-awfully old. And there goes Black Monday. Oh. Despite their best effort to deal with the influx of refugees, the governors of our southern provinces are overwhelmed. Following a province-wide declaration of martial law made in Hubei, Governor Zhao Yaonan ordered his troops to shut down all bridges and roads leading into the province from League territory, denying entries to all refugees. A large number of them, however, began to mass at a bridge over the Yangtze River, demanding entry. While the started peacefully, quickly escalated into a full-scale riot, as refugees began to pelt Zhao's troops with rocks, bottles, and other debris. Eventually, a group of men who had somehow armed themselves with stolen weapons began shooting at Zhao's troops, who responded by opening fire with machine guns. Those not hit by the storm or bullets fled, stampeding other refugees and leaving their friends and family dead or dying on the bridge. This grisly scene is being repeated up and down our border with the League, as mobs of refugees have started to force their way into our territory. Unfortunate news. Well, we need an emergency meeting of the senior Zhili members, then. The unrest in the south has exploded into full-blown chaos. Rioting and looting are widespread, and senior authority has broken down. Wu Paifu must call a meeting of senior Zhili generals and bureaucrats in order to properly respond to this developing situation. Austrian Empire. Minister Wu Paifu has woken from a restless sleep. Sun Qiangfang shot at 8:55 a.m. Stop. Perpetrator unknown. Stop. In coma. Stop. Unlikely to wake. Stop. Riots widespread. Stop. Fleeing with golden documents. Stop. 2 hours later, Luoyang has become a frenzied hub of activity. Documents concerning Sun's more salacious dealings with Beijing burn in the furnaces, while a group of senior Zhili officials confer with one another. In an unprecedented move, Wu has invited several Manchu notably the emperor's brother Puji, to be present for the drafting of some form of a unified statement in response to the assassination. What will come next? Well, shit. Damn. Fuck. Following the collapse of the League to the south, we have gathered nearly all senior Zhili-aligned military officials in Luoyang. As the meeting starts, Marshal Wu Paifu opens with a short statement. Fellow soldiers, time has come. With the collapse of the League, we are, for the first time since the Xifeng War, in a precarious situation. Every choice we make over the next few weeks will determine the outcome of China for decades to come. I'd like to remind some, he says, glancing at the more hawkish members of the Assembly, that intervention is not necessarily the most sound course of action. We need to weigh our options first before committing. The various generals nodded in agreement and began a series of discussions on the best course of action. We need to be careful. Following a refusal of Governor Cheng's telegram, a message been received from Qi Zhiyang, who has declared himself a new League Marshal of the 8 provinces, succeeding Sun Qiangfang. To the most auspicious Marshal Wu, Qi Zhiyang, request your aid in suppressing the rebellion in Hanhui. As you are my Legion commander, it is only proper you assist me in time of need. The tone of the request leads many suspicious, as theoretically Xi should be able to easily crush Anqing and the KMT rebellion to the south with German aid. Well, I mean, he can handle this on his own. Surely. Lacking any suitable ports in the north, the Imperial fleet has been based out of Nantong since the end of 1927 conflict. With rioting, civil unrest, and general chaos enveloping the city, Admiral Wu Renly has ordered the fleet to leave the city and head north for the smaller ports we control outside Tianjin. The fall of the Nanjing docks also means we have lost what limited naval manufacturing capabilities we had. Damn. We are in a huge political power hole. Man. And then ripples of Black Monday. Well, in the weeks following the Black Monday, it appears we have escaped the worst of damage. Over the last few days, German-affiliated businesses have been hit with the supply chain issues and increased prices. While the economic disruption is nowhere near the scale experienced in Europe and in the Americas, this is still a blow to our economy. Damn it! How's our construction at now? No. Well, shoot. Facade of Chinese unity, having held together for nearly a decade, has begun to crumble. Rising unrest in the League of 8 provinces, the economic shock of Black Monday, portending German retrenchment, and the inability of a national government to deliver a decisive response to either, has made one thing clear. Beijing's monopoly on power is broken, and now the future is any man's game. This will not go well. And there we go. While most of China and the world assume that the KMT were destroyed in 1947, League Marshal Sun has been fighting low-intensity guerrilla conflict with remnants of the KMT in the Fujian area since that time. Reports were censored from the press, and even Wu Paifu remained largely unaware of the true scope of the conflict, well, with Sun keeping all details tightly under wraps. With the current chaos in the League, however, the remnants of KMT have re-emerged and declared a new campaign of national reunification. They have denounced our rightful government as illegitimate, calling us little more than a German puppet, slave to the whims of Berlin. We can only hope that the remnants of Sun's forces can put these traitors down. Despicable traitors. All of them. With violence in the League escalating daily, the governors of Yunnan and Guangdong, Tang Jiao and Chiang Jiongming, have stopped responding to official government requests for information and updates on what is happening in their territory. They have long despised our government, and while this move is not unexpected, it represents a complete change in their official demeanor to our government. Many in Wu's inner circle fear that this heralds a complete collapse of our authority. And this morning, news out of Shangji confirms these worries. But traitor Feng Yuzhang, holed up with his men in the hills of northern Shaanxi, has formally denounced the actions of our government in what is now being termed the Yangtze incident early this week, when Governor Wang Huaiqing's forces fired upon a mob of refugees and proclaimed that Qing no longer had the capacity to rule China. His nominal ally in Tianyong, Governor Yang Zhejiang, has decried the violence but stopped short of condemning us or recognizing the Fengtian government. But it's clear the national order is breaking down. Damnation. And then look at that. Liangguang, a coalition of two of the former 8 provinces of the eponymous league, seceded from both the agglomeration and our regime as a whole this morning, under the command of the scholar bureaucrat Qian Jiangming, backed by the warlord Lu Rongting. The provinces declared our government wholly illegitimate and promised a swift end to the autocratic and anachronistic monarchy. Rebel scum. Hunan province has fallen under the weight of Sun Qiongfeng during the chaos following the 1927 Northern Expedition, with Governor Zhao Hengti reassuming control over the province after a brief period of KMT rule. Longtime ally of Wu, Zhao has been governor of the region since 1920. However, he also ties to the federalist government in Guangdong, tacitly supporting the federal model. As of now, he has taken a strictly neutral stance, torn between his personal relationship to Wu and his political loyalties to Chiang Jiongming. His neutrality cannot last long, however, as already clouds begin to circle around the rule of his province. Hopefully, Wu's old friend remains loyal. We can hope. Also, is that a TNO ref? I'm sorry. The last major HoI 4 campaign I played was TNO with Guangdong, which was a lot of fun, by the way. If you haven't checked that out, I recommend it. So, I think Guangdong. I hear Guangdong, I think TNO. Anyhow, following Wu and Cao's silence on LAP-related affairs, small protests began to emerge, clamoring for intervention. Silence continued. These gatherings quickly turned to large street protests, with Cao finally announcing they would not support neither Qi nor Chen. The protest erupted into riots. Beijing and other major cities are paralyzed by unrest, and nearly everyone from the richest intellectual to the poorest street vendor are on the streets denouncing the government. Adding fuel to the fire are wild conspiracy theories that Wu was paid off by the German legation not to intervene, leading many demonstrators to carry anti-German slogans and burn German-made goods. In one instance, crude effigies of the Kaiser, Wu, and Cao were all burned outside the Forbidden City before the perpetrators were hauled away in chains. Damn it! It's just not getting better, is it? Well, that's interesting. Zhili Clique, the Tsai Mountains, and dual armies has been a thorn in our side. With a few arrows on our quiver to keep them compliant, and others may emerge as the situation develops. Maintaining our sphere of influence is vital to protecting the Northwest. Shaanxi's war support is a critical factor in determining their ability to mobilize against us. Keeping the war support from growing too high is essential if we are to maintain national unity. The war support is currently at 0. Be wary also of the rising influence of the Guomingjun, the renegade faction of Zhili Clique, that has also tapped deeply into the revolutionary spirit, that they are unwilling to work with us at all. They're gathering strength right now. Zhili Clique's nominal submission to our government is a little reassurance given our past animosity. Nonetheless, the circumstances of post-League environment mean that we have a very limited opportunity to potentially change our relations with Shaanxi and its leadership. In the stance, both Taiyong and Beijing will have the ability to manipulate the situation to their advantage, keeping our influence high, their war support low, and the Kuomintang out will keep Shaanxi aligned to our interests. Okay. Ooh. I almost knocked my water bottle onto my keyboard. I don't think I would have spilled water, but still. The urgent telegram from Taiyun. With all the chaos and numerous exchanges going on within the halls of power in Beijing following the collapse of the League and Black Monday, it would have been easy to miss a telegram that came in a few days ago. It was only after sorting through several stacks of mail that the message made it to the eyes of the intended recipient. Written by Yan Zhejiang, who only a few weeks ago rejected our generous offer for economic assistance, sent us a new offer of partnership. Noting the shifting tides in China's political atmosphere, with many alliances fraying and our own security threatened by developments in the north and south, he points out the necessity for stability in China's west. While careful not to make outright promises, his message clearly indicates his willingness to seek a closer relationship between Beijing and Taiyuan, though he notes that such an arrangement will require a mutual willingness to support one another. Of course, reading between the lines, the majority of this cost will be likely borne on our end. While many far more pressing issues to deal, there are far more pressing issues to be dealt with. No, wait, with many far more pressing issues to deal with at the moment. That was right. I'm just too tired. Wu Paifu was elected to move on to his next order of business, rather than craft a dedicated response. However, he pointedly did not throw out the telegram. I'd like to know more. I guess I'm not. Go back. Go back. Fuck. Alright, there we go. The interaction with Taiyun is critical going forward for crafting Beijing's strategy with regards to defending their west flank. Although a very poor and industrially almost barren province, both Yan Zhejiang and Feng Yujiang intend to mobilize every resource they can to build up an army capable of once more challenging the powers that be through their 10-year plan mechanic. Covering matters industrial, agricultural, and educational, on top of their efforts dealing with the military and society, Shangji is likely to be a thorn in your side. They'll hope to strike in the almost inevitable confrontation against Fengtiang or potential southern menace, exploiting your vulnerability to overwhelm your underdefended west. Thankfully, however, your faction has multiple arrows in your quiver. For one, Shangji's economic malaise cripples Shangji to almost comical levels, and they will likely need outside investment to get into reasonable shape. This offers Beijing an opportunity to expand its influence in Shangji, resource measured in Beijing influence levels. Measures between 0 and 100. On Shangji's end, their early game content will often offer them multiple opportunities to trade and increase foreign influence for an improved economy. On your end, as Shangji goes down its various trees, decisions will temporarily open up to wedge your influence into their province. These can be utilized a couple of ways. Passively, Shangji donates civilian factories to you proportionate to your influence. You can also elect to spend your influence in a few ways as well. It's possible to have your agents influence provincial politics towards Yang Zhejiang, who, unlike Feng, can potentially become an admittedly unwilling ally, and moreover, dampening their war support will weaken their ability to take decisions to betray you. Diplomatically, a higher amount of influence will unlock key opportunities later on with negotiations over Shangji's future, allowing you to potentially tame the province. Greater investments in Shangji will make them stronger, but be careful to keep them on a tight leash. Conversely, ignoring them will almost guarantee them to be an albeit weaker threat in the future, somewhat worth keeping in mind in your planning. Well, thanks for the explanation. Man, a lot of stuff to think about. Sichuan Clique is the one who we're kind of friendly. No, that's Hunan, right. Dire news comes in from Chengdu. The tenuous peace in the region fell apart not long after the troubles in the League of Eight Provinces reached a boiling point, greatly diminishing the influence of a Sichuanese leader, Yang Sen. The internal divisions in the clique have escalated into open conflict as the Chongqing warlord, Liu Jiang, leader of the Industrial Corps, with its massive force and manpower and firepower alike, has begun to march on Yang's forces. For now, at least Yang's allies in the Baoding department under Deng Zhihu remain, but even that is uncertain as the situation spirals further out of control with every passing day. With the current situation in Sichuan, it can't be ruled out that a prolonged conflict where both sides exhaust their strength could lead to the remnants of a KMT under Liu Chao seizing the moment to reverse their old misfortunes. As if that wasn't enough, persistent droughts have hit hard in Sichuan on already struggling people. With disaster looming, our old friend Yang has reached out to us, pleading that we offer any support we may muster. While the consequences of defeat for Yang could prove severe for us in the future, we also have our own crises in life situation in Nanjing. Send them what we can spare. Ooh. Interesting news in Tibet. Oh, well, Black Mondays left deep scars in the global economy, and particularly on the Deutsche Asiatisches Bank in Shanghai, which seems to have fallen victim to unscrupulous business practices and possibly insider trading. Our delegation are now seeking guidance on how they should vote considering the proposed bailout of the DAB. Let's see how this goes. Oh. A young pilot named Sung Tongyang has earned great renown for flying across Eurasia in his custom self-built aircraft. With the recent upheavals within the League, he has volunteered to serve our nation as a pilot, destroying our enemies from the skies. Originally based in Nanjing, he has fled the chaos currently enveloping the city for our territory in a small plane. Great! Lindbergh of the East. Hopefully not politically, just for the flying, right? Just because he flies, right? Alright, well, the vote will pass in the legation city. In the weeks following Wu's decision not intervening in the LP collapse, small groups from across the political spectrum began to gather in secret. Initially limited to critiquing Wu's inaction, the worsening violence in the streets led many to bring up revolt. Social networks between these groups allowed a shaky coalition to develop, comprised of Manchu nobles, cadets at the Baoding Academy, reformers in the NCERWA, and some Zhili generals annoyed at Wu's inaction. This loose group has begun to speak clandestinely with one another, plots to overthrow Wu and restore the emperor to some degree of power. Keep an eye on this. Well, we'll have to wait till next time to get a real look at what's going to happen, though. I'm going to leave it there. Thanks for watching, gang. Like if you liked, dislike if you didn't. If you want to keep updated with uploads, hit the sub button and the notification bell. Leaving comments in the comment section below, and check my various links in the description box below as well. That's it for now, my friends. I thank you all for watching, and I will see you all next time. Bye-bye now.